So our second technique is also a scoring technique. In the last one, I said we made a straight score pleat. We specified straight, so what does that tell you? Apparently there are kinds of scores that don't have to be straight. This is where it gets fun. You can make a curved score and fold a curve. So here's my little paper, my little 2-inch square thing. I found something curvy. Do I have to do it? Nah, I could do it freehand if I wanted to. But I'll make a couple of curves here, and I'm pressing firmly. You want whatever, whether it's an embossed line or a scratched in line, to go about halfway into your paper. Notice that I'm working on a cutting mat here. This is kind of rubbery, plasticky, soft, so that when I press hard, I get a good dent in the paper. You probably don't have a cutting mat at home, or if you do, use it. If you don't, use the top of a binder, works great, or even a stack of papers, or put it on top of a magazine. Anything that's going to give you just a little bit of give for your embossing lines. So there's one, and here's one. Make sure I'm going all the way end to end. Go over that a couple of times, get it nice and deep. And as I said, I don't have to. If I get too sharp of a curve, that's going to be too much of a challenge. So keep your curves a little bit soft. But I don't have to follow a particular line. So now I've got a couple of smooth curves and a couple of invented curves. The tricky part is obviously not embossing the paper. You can do that. The tricky part is getting these embossed lines to fold. If I just take and fold it like this, like I would a normal piece of a normal straight score, I'm going to end up with a normal straight fold. You have to take your fingers like Pac-Man, chomp, 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 and move your fingers along that fold line. Like this. And look, I folded a curve. Can I fold it the other way? Sure I can. It works better. If I know in advance that I definitely want to fold it in this direction, I'm going to put the score line where it's folding back away from the score line. But doesn't mean it doesn't work at all the other way. And you can see I'm just kind of like Pac-Manning my fingers along the curve. Don't try to fold the whole curve at once or you'll get a straight fold. But look at that. Isn't that cool? Can't we do fun things with that? How about these lines where I just kind of went whack-a-doodle here and made them any which way? Let's do those. So it's same. You just need to make sure, especially when there's a tight curve like this, that you're only folding the smallest portion of the curve at a time. See, that one went that way, so this one will go this way. Just a small portion at a time. Yeah, like that. So, that's a pretty cool technique. What do you suppose I want you to do with that? How about we get our handy dandy little paper over here. This is our second technique. Whoops, I told you, you got to mark your pen so you don't try and write with the dead one. And over here, we're going to write curved score. And to glue that down, depending on whether I want to do it this way, or I kind of like it that way. I like these two little wing things sticking up. Teeny tiny dots just around the edges. My first dot always ends up too big. I think I'm too enthusiastic when I get started. But get in the habit of just doing this teeny dots just around the edges. Whenever you finish with your glue, close it. Otherwise, that's when you get that problem that the glue bottle stops up and yeah, it's miserable. Oh, speaking of, you know how people take the glue bottle's stopped up and so they take their scissors and their paper clips and start jamming it in there and trying to unclog it? Far, far easier. Just take this whole top piece off and drop it in a sink or a cup full of water. The glue dissolves, you put it back on, you don't stretch out the little applicator, and you don't have to spend time digging at it with your fingernails or whatever. So there's one more little tip for you. When I'm gluing things down with liquid glue, come on up, my little wing thingy. Lost my fold here. When I'm gluing things down, I want to hold them and count to 10 or 20 so that, come on, so that the glue holds.